Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 2019 mod with the 2020 car set, and we are here at the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway, and Brandon and I are starting in the back in this race. He's over there in that wreckingandracing.com podcast Toyota. If you're a NASCAR fan looking for a new podcast to listen to, check out wreckingandracing.com. So, big news in real life. This Sunday's race at Talladega on Fox, I have actually purchased a sponsorship on the back of Joey Gase's car. So if you're watching this Sunday on Fox and you see a camera view from behind Joey Gase, take a look between those rear taillights and you will see the channel name, and that is really cool indeed. Hopefully we can have some good racing here today at Talladega. Of course, 3-4 wide is entirely possible, and we have our wins for the year, so it's not like we have a must-win situation here, but it would certainly be nice. We have 18 laps, and the green flag is about to fly. Green flag is out, and we are behind the 00 of Quinn Houff as we get back up to speed. We do have to make one pit stop this race. Once we get about 6 laps in, we will be within our fuel window. Tires, not much tire wear here. Probably a right side change since we're going to do about a can of fuel. Brandon shooting up through the middle there. You see him under Daniel Suarez. We're going to look to the outside of the 15 car, get the pull off of Corey LaJoie in the 32 down the backstretch, and already these cars are going to start going 2 and 3 wide. This is the BR version of Talladega, the nice repaid version, and the high line is pretty quick. You can hold your own here on the bottom right next to the yellow line, but if you can get single filed up, the high line is the way to go. As you can see, the bottom really checking up, loose on the bottom below the white dotted line, but Talladega opens up toward the bottom here in the tri-oval. We basically get an extra lane for free, and we have to get back up right here. We're on the bottom 3 wide. We see Ryan Newman in front of us in the 6. Thinking about you, Ryan, get well soon. And going 3 wide under the 37 here as well. Brandon shooting up the middle. You can see him sparking there up the middle. Both lines struggling to move, and we are sort of trapped here behind the 41 of Cole Custer. We'll try to suck up to his rear bumper and give him a push and hope for the best here. The 43 on the outside of Bubba Wallace, and 3x3 in front. Looks like the 24 of William Byron is up front. We're a little loose on the bottom there. Great turn in the middle, that is for sure, but on corner entry, it's a little bit sketch. Speaking of sketch, here comes Bubba Wallace giving Brandon a shove in the tri-oval here. Great run down on the bottom. We'll see if we can get that pull off of Brandon here. Brandon goes 4 wide. Custer, Larson, and the 38 as well. That is going to be a little bit tinny, but we'll try to make it work. We're bobbing around, touching the apron just a bit, de-wedging the car a skosh. Luckily, we had enough room to save it, but everyone clamped together in one big pack and not a whole lot of movement. But here comes 21, Di Benedetto, looking to the bottom. He'll settle in behind Brandon, and we will follow him around, but still 4 wide. Di Benedetto thought about making it 5 wide there, looking toward the inside. The 38 still to our outside. We might be able to go 3 wide here, or maybe 4 wide, depending on what Di Benedetto does. He stays in line behind Brandon and not making up a whole lot of time here. We have Austin Dillon to our right side. Austin falling back. The 88 of Bowman looking to the inside up there, checking up. A tight group of cars. Everyone you see is for position, and everyone is under a blanket just about 1 second from first to last, as we do here in Talladega. Push up the middle from Dillon up to the 38. Highline looks to be rolling as well. If we can catch a run here down to the inside of Di Benedetto, we can glue to the yellow line. Di Benedetto moves to block just a bit. We're going to lose our momentum on corner entry, scrubbing that speed. Flat out, of course, microscopic movements with the wheel is the fastest. And Dillon not cutting us any slack, getting in line to follow Di Benedetto. So dropping back on the bottom, as I said, the high line is usually faster around this configuration of the racetrack. Oh, Dillon, really wide, and he's going to come back on the track. Hold on to your britches, boys. This is going to be big. Here comes Dillon up, and he sliced almost into Logano, drops back, no caution, and that would be very hairy indeed. Luckily, there was enough room for Dylan to get back up into the racing line. Logano now glued to our rear bumper. DiBenedetto in front of us, Brandon in front of him, and we can see that 88 of Bowman just peek out ever so often, trying to pass the 4 of Kevin Harvick up there. Sticking to the bottom, really not being able to get to the outside. We'll hope this bottom lane moves. Not a whole lot of help in the middle there with Ty Dillon in the 13, so hopefully this bottom line will continue to roll. Got the 18 out there, Kyle Busch looking to the middle 3 wide, carrying a whole lot of speed, bouncing off the rev limiter here right into the back bumper of DiBenedetto, and this bottom line is finally moving. Looks like the leader, Byron, dropping back to the middle. That middle lane choked up just a bit, put Brad Keselowski out front into the 10 just a skosh, wheel to wheel. We keep it straight though. Body slamming down the back straightaway, and still we have plenty of pit stops to go and probably about 10 to 15 laps left. This is crazy. Wow, Byron actually got down to the bottom here and is behind Brandon and Harvick. Brandon's making his moves up front. That bottom lane is working. Looks like the 24 looking under the 27 here. Harvick way up top, trying to keep that high line going. We see Brad Keselowski out there in that money line car and DiBenedetto around. Off of our nose, Kyle Busch moves to avoid. No caution as of yet. But Kyle is down there on that apron. If he rejoins the racetrack unsafely, that would be bad, but it does look like Kyle gets back to the bottom and the yellow flag does fly. As this is the 2003 version of the game, we are racing back to the line to take the caution. It may be just in the fuel window, so everyone should be on pit road this time. We're probably going to take just right side tires and try to gain as much track position as possible. Get that pull from the 88, see if we can get past the 4 before the line. We're clear of the 11, but Brad Keselowski is still out there fighting. Hamlin giving him a push to our outside. It's going to come down to the line, get that pull off the 88. We're not going to get Harvick, but can we get Keselowski? I think we did. Roll out of the throttle ever so gently here, try not to get run over, but Brandon takes the point to take the yellow flag, and it'll be interesting to see what exactly brought out the yellow, if it was DiBenedetto or was it Busch, but the pace car is out, and we will see you on pit road. Coming into our box, we are the very first pit stall on pit road here, and very interesting strategy as the 24, and it looked like the 2 of Keselowski also stayed out, and they are not going to have the fuel to make it to the end here, and a bunch of cars are staying out as well, maybe 10 to 15. Brandon away, we have clear pit road on the exit, so we'll line up behind these guys and have a big gaggle of cars that will need to come down pit road during green flag runs. Not exactly what their crew chief was thinking, unless they're counting on another yellow to come out soon and not give up that track position, but we will beat the 10 off of pit road and line up behind that 88. We'll see you for the green. Pace car is off, coming to green, and indeed a few cars did pit. The 00 and the 43 peeled off to pit road 1 lap after the pit stops, I guess making sure they could make it on fuel. Everyone else in the front half of this field cannot make it, and that is going to be very interesting indeed when they come down to pit road. Are they going to slow up? Are they going to get out of the racing line? It may all go bottom up from here on, but green flag is out, single file now behind the 42, under the 32, so Corey LaJoie, probably one of those that didn't pit. Usually we don't see Corey LaJoie running this close to the front. Kyle Busch is out there. Perhaps he stayed out. We have Daniel Suarez as well, and the 42 under the 95 looking just a bit. We have a little bit of breathing room now that everyone started single file, though. They're back 2x2, and luckily not 3x3, so we have some racetrack to move forward. Under the 96 without much trouble, putting Kyle Busch up top 3 wide behind the 8 of Tyler Reddick, and indeed here they come, slowing down to pit road. Oh, into the car there. Don't know if the yellow flag is going to come out, but we have center punched the 47 car of Ricky Stenhouse, who was slowing up either to get to pit road or slowing up for those guys coming down to pit road. And we are out front in no man's land, which is not good here at Talladega. We do not have the speed alone, and even if we were in the draft, I don't think we're going to have the speed with a busted front end. We're just going to have to hold what we got. If the yellow flag comes out, we might be able to come down to repair, but I am not even going to get in these guys' way. They are just way too quick in the pack. The 88 up front, followed by Kurt Busch in the 1, 9 of Chase Elliott here, and up top 3 wide already, making quick work here of me, but I'm going to hold what we got here in the middle. Maybe the 10 of Eric Almirola is going to be a good pusher. Here comes Brandon in behind on the bottom groove. He should make the pass, and I'll see if I can get behind him here. Looks to be a gap between him and Jimmy Johnson. If we can get tucked between 2 cars and sort of negate the damage, that would be ideal. I don't think we have race-winning speed, and here comes the cars off of pit road who pitted coming, down to the green, essentially. We'll put them 1 lap down easily and continue battling. Now, if they get in these leaders' way, this might be an opportunity for us if they get slowed down. Brandon gets a draft off of that 8 and the 11. Down on the bottom, we'll roll the middle here around the middle and see if we can carry that momentum around and blend here. And we have Harvick out in front of that 47 and 32, it looks like. That 47 showing a lot of damage from that center punch, thanks to us. And there's a car all alone in the combat zone way up there. Looks like that 47 might be dragging everyone else like a parachute. Brandon goes around, and we're trapped behind the 32 as he pushes the 47 out of the way. We'll have to ride in line here until we're clear. And we might get around the 32, depending on our help. We have Austin Dillon right behind us. That 47 is now up to speed up top. Ryan Blaney in the 12, followed by the 4 of Kevin Harvick up top as well. I mean, the top is going to roll, but we need the 47 to be just a little bit slower, and we finally cleared him. So out back the 3, giving us a push, trying to get caught up to the 32, and I don't know if we can. Now that car all alone up there, I don't know if that's for position or not, but we're going to do our best to block the 3 now that we're all running relatively the same speed, but definitely foot to the floor and doing our best. If we can catch a run under the 32, he's going to block the bottom. We'll give him a shove under the 6, just for good measure, try to use that middle lane as a pick if he's out there all alone. And good run down the backstretch here. I don't know if Brandon is going to catch that car all alone if there is that many laps to go, but we're going to do our best here on the bottom. The line is staying in line. Thankfully, Austin isn't making any aggressive maneuvers, and we'll get around the 32. And we have the entire pack basically behind us. If we get off this bottom lane just a little bit, about half the field is going to go around us. The 32 fights back on the high side. Brandon is splitting the lines top to bottom, just giving the pull to the line that is further behind, trying to keep us pretty even Steven. And that looks like Keselowski there in the Money Lion car out there all alone, and we will catch him probably this lap going into 3 if everyone stays in line here. If Brandon can start getting the pull off of that car, we'll catch him very quickly. Kurt Busch makes a maneuver down to the bottom. If I move to the top to block, that would give up the bottom lane. I'd rather stay on the bottom and make them take the long way around since we are driving a debilitated race car here. Hopefully the 8 stays in line here. Come on, Tyler, give me the push. Austin is still up top, keeping us honest on the bottom. He's going to get that drive off top. Eric Almirola with a huge run. And it looks like that third lane may be making a move. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go. Luckily, not too much damage where we are tremendously slower, but definitely not fast enough to pull up to these guys in any way, shape, or form. It's going to be a dogfight to the end, but we're around Keselowski now. I believe he's 1 lap down if he came down to pit road, so it's just that high line that we have to look out for. And Almirola with a ton of speed will make short work of us. Here comes the Gibbs boys, Truex and Hamlin on the outside. Brandon's a block to the low. Jimmy Johnson looking out there. He's got a gap to the 11. I don't think a lot of energy is going to come to that top row. Truex might get us before the line, but if we are snug behind somebody, they're pulling away just a skosh. Truex will close the door. Reddick is there. He might get us before the line. He will. Just hold off. Man, in the middle, 3 wide, and the parachute was deployed. But we were lucky to come away with that race as we did, and I do believe Brandon took the win there. That will be his 3rd win this year. Let's see our top 10, shall we? Let's start with Brandon up front and take a look at that finish just step by step and see how close it truly was here. So Brandon had a bit of speed out in front. So not that big of gap. In 2nd place will be Eric Almirola. 3rd place will be Austin Dillon. 22nd for Brad Keselowski, so the lap car in the middle of us. 4th place, Martin Truex Jr. 23rd for Hemrick, so he wasn't even battling for position here. 24th for Hamlin, so he was off the lead as well. That gives us a top 5 in our Planet Zoo Camaro. Feeling pretty good about that. So let's take a look at what brought out that yellow flag. It had to do with De Benedetto here. And we'll just see what happened to poor Matt. Matty D off the front of my nose. He gets it corralled up, sort of scrapes the wall a bit. Does he join like a bullet? Yes, he does. Right there into the 37. Matty D, with no Fs to give, just drives right into the racing line and into the 47, bringing out our caution. So let's take a look at the standings after Talladega. Brandon has resumed the points lead with 3 wins. We also have 3 wins. Chase Elliott is your cutoff driver. 2 to the good over Logano. 10 back to Stenhouse. 14 back to Keselowski. Kyle Larson, unfortunately, was awarded no points for this race, and he will not be in the race moving forward. So he will drop out of the top 10 definitely in the next race, and probably out of the top 16 in 1 to 2 races, letting guys like Logano come up into the transfer spot. But we will see what Dover holds next week, everyone. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next NASCAR Racing 2003 season video. Take care.